Hi and welcome to this video. Today I'm making an art journal page focusing on two items. One is this ephemera pack from Tim Holtz Ideology collection, and one is a golden acrylic paste from Marabu. So I'm trying this out for the first time. It's been quite a while since I made a art journal page. I've been focusing on doing some other paintings for a while, so it's nice to get back to this. So the first thing I'm doing is putting down some glue and then using some washi tape to cover like the crease of the book to make sure that no page seep through to the other pages of this. I don't always do this, but sometimes it's nice just to make sure that none of the paint gets by. And for this I'm not going to cover the washi tape that much. I'm just going to leave it there, so it's kind of a nice detail too. So I'm also going to use these gelatos and art crayons. So these were popular, I would say 5 years ago, but it might have been longer. So I got some gelatos from Faber-Castell and also got some of the Marabu's art crayons, and they work the same way. So if you haven't used this, these are basically crayons that you can activate with water. If you think like watercolor pencils, it's kind of the same thing, but these are thicker. So they kind of remind, of a normal crayon. So the colors I'm going to work with are some earth tones, and I didn't have any brown ones, so I just started with the greens and then added some reds and some oranges to get some brown in there and some nice earthy colors, because I'm trying to match this up with the ephemera. So I'm basically just trying. It's been literally years since I've used this, so I don't really remember like how much you needed to use to activate it. And as you can see, I took a lot of water in the beginning, so I'm just using a piece of towel or paper towel to kind of control the mess. And this is just gonna look like a blob in the beginning, but then when you do your other layers, it's gonna look nicer. I think always like the first layer in my art journal makes me just wanna stop right there, because it just looks like a mess. It doesn't look nice. You can look at it now. It's it's not that good. But I wanted some more green, so I went in with some more green. And I just think when it comes to art journal, it just don't give up. Just keep going until you get the results that you want. Also went in with some more orange, this darker orange. And I'm not sure actually if they do still sell these art crayons, but I do like them more than the normal gelatos because they're a lot softer, so they're easier to work with. And here I just took a little less water on the green to activate it, but not to like make a giant mess. And then I'm taking the colors a bit out to the edge just to give it a distressed look. I'm gonna take my art journal to the side and dry it with my heat gun because my cord isn't long enough to reach my desk. And next up, I just took some Distress Oxide in Vintage Photos, and I'm using the oxides because they do not reactivate with water like the normal Distress ink does. Fair enough, I don't go in with more water on this page, but you never know. And I'm just using this stencil, which has the cutest little small dots. And I think this is a great stencil just to add some subtle layering. So I'm just using an ink tool and just placing these distressed oxide just a bit all over the place. When I do my pages, I don't have a set look I'm going for. Usually I just pick some accessories or some paint that I want to work with, and then I just build my page from there. So here I'm going through some of the ephemeras, looking for what I want. So I wanted some earth tones, so I didn't want any blue flowers or too bright yellow. So I just picked out some roses that I think would be nice. Oh, sorry. And then some butterflies. And this pack was thick. I think it cost like $7, €7, something like that. And you got a lot of stuff in it. So you can see these ephemeras have this white border. So I used my oxide, tried to kind of tone that down a bit with the brown. And I'm not sure how well this is gonna stick because these ephemeras were super glossy. But I just gave it a go, and hopefully it will give a nice look and that the ink will stay for a bit at least. Hoping for the best. And then I just took some Posca paint pens because I wanted some more color, not really sure what I was gonna do. And here I basically did some scribbles. I just did some circly, scribbly things. It's not really resembling anything, but I just wanted some more texture to break it up and some more interest to the page. So I just took a thin brown one and did that a bit of all praise, and then a like peachy color, I guess, and I just did some lines and then smeared it all out, and I think it looks nice. Like by itself it's not that impressive, but when you tie it in with all of the other colors, I think it looks good. And here you can really see I don't really have a plan with anything. I'm just winging it, so to say. And I think that's one of the good things about art journaling. For me, it's very therapeutic, because you can just mess around with paints and colors and don't really like care that much about the result. It's more like the process. And I really think that's nice. It's a good way to like de-stress. And then I went in with some sprays, and this is again from Marabu, and it is, I think they're just called art sprays. And I did use this orange one that was really, really nice, bright and orange. I don't think my camera picks up at it as much as in real life, but it was a really nice color. Then I used some brown. I do really wish that I have a green one. I do have some green ones, but they are like these lime green and turquoise colors, and it didn't really suit what I was going for. So I just left that. I used some yellow too, again from Rangers. And then I just dried that off quickly and just then dabbed up the larger spots that I didn't dry up, just to make sure that it didn't mess around in the wrong way. And then I took this tiny doily, which I love doilies, they're so cute. So first again I went with the vintage photo distress oxide, and then I took this art crayon and just smeared that with my finger. Just took some water on my finger and smeared that, and you can see how easily these crayons work. I don't think I will be able to do it as easy with the gelatos from Faber-Castell, and I really liked how this little doily turned out. I think I will do this more, like again. I think I've used like the oxides before and colored them, but with the water it kind of gives it another texture as well. So now I'm kind of just trying out to see where I want to place my decorations. Also had this Heidi Swap frame set that I haven't used yet, so I picked out two that I really liked. And this composition is quite normal for me, like one bigger on the right side and then another one on the left side, a bit like diagonal. And I do use that a lot because I think it gives it a nice balanced look. And then I got some stickers from, again, Tim Holtz Ideology collection, but I'm gonna do that I think in the end. Now I'm going in with my acrylic paste, and I wasn't sure what stencil I wanted to use, and then I found this really cool looking one that I hadn't used before, but I wasn't sure it was going to fit, because to me this stencil is quite industrial, if you get what I mean. And the page I was working on was very much organic, earthy tone, and like more flow. But I actually really liked how this turned out. It looked great in the end, and I really like this paste. It's not as thick as some of the modern paste I've used. It's a bit thinner, but it's easy to work with and it gives a nice texture. The only thing you need to think about is that it does take some time to dry. I did use my heat gun for that, and I think I dried it to like 90%, so I was a bit careful. But if you don't have a heating tool, I think you really need to leave this like overnight to get it dry. And I'm not sure that my camera is going to pick up on how lovely this color is. It's so shimmery, it just looks amazing. And I'm actually glad that I picked this stencil because it gives it a bit of edge and stands out a bit. So here I've kind of dried it off, and I'm gonna start gluing everything down. So I'm starting with my doily and just gluing that down first, because that's gonna be my base color or base layer. So try not to overdo the glue too much on these doilies since they are so thin. And then I use my frame. So with chipboard, what I often do is actually take away some of the cardboard if I want a thinner page, especially in like this art journal where it's going to be a lot of layers anyway, and this is a book, you want to close it neatly, it's really good. But also if you do normal scrapbooking, these frames were kind of thin, so if I did scrapbooking I wouldn't tear them up, but some chipboard can be really thick, so then I usually just take the backing off. And then I'm just using my glue, gluing down all my flowers and butterflies, and I'm using the same technique, just stripping off the backing of the photo frame for the other side too. And the glue is just like a normal quick hobby glue that I get from my local craft store. This brand I've been getting for like 8 years and I just love it. And here I'm just deciding where my last butterflies will be and just gluing everything down. And as you can see when I'm doing my pages, I don't really second guess a lot, I just go with the flow. And I think that's part of it because I don't have a finished picture in my head when I'm starting these, so it's easier for me to just smack everything down and hope for the best. So I decided to go with these white stickers, and I'm going to go in with my, again, Distress Oxide, and kind of hope that the ink will stay on this, because they are, again, glossy, but the white was a bit too much, especially when I toned down the white on the doily. So I just take some more glue, glue that down, and even if you use stickers, if you've used like a lot of paints and gels and mediums, you kind of want to use glue to make sure everything sticks down for sure. I basically use glue on everything. Even if it's just on normal paper, I use glue because I'm so afraid everything like will fall off. And then I actually go in with this super nice black spray and just make some splashes, just to break it off a bit, because this was quite bright, there wasn't much depth in it. So I used the black one, and I think I went in with a brown one, even if I don't show the brown one here. And that's it, actually. And I have to say I really like how this turned out. I love the colors. Of course, I'm snipping off the end of the washi tape. I really love the color, and just that hint of red and green and just the overwhelming brown and gold, I think was just amazing, and I was so happy to do this page. Let me know what you think. If you're interested in trying some of these materials, if you have done something similar, I would love to know. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.